PowerDirector 18 has been released. Should you upgrade? Let me actually get something out first. I don't work for those guys, for CyberLink at all. Everything I do is on my own free time. I buy the product just like you. So I don't get any kickbacks. I don't get nothing. Okay, so you're actually getting probably one of the most honest reviews you'll get on YouTube. And I'm not holding anything back. I even debated whether or not I should make this video. But I want your input at the end. So if anything, if you're thinking about upgrading, I would listen to this video from beginning to end and really get the information. So, as another YouTuber says, let's jump into this. AudioDirector's got some, they upgraded everything, by the way, all 4 programs that you get when you do the membership. Oh, membership. Let me touch on this. They are not removing where you buy the program and switching to subscription-based. They're not doing that. They stated in another video I watched where 50% of the people are running subscription-based like myself. It's actually more affordable when you do the subscription-based compared to owning it unless you're just buying one. Now, if some people prefer to buy and wait 2-3 years before they do it again. And for some people that works. But they're not removing that at all. So everything's staying the same. You have a choice to do subscription or you have a choice to buy. That's up to you. Apparently, AudioDirector has added new things like audio support 5.1, 7.1, channel support visualization, dialogue contour, restore audio with AI. Apparently, they have artificial intelligence to locate and remove wind. I look forward to using that because sometimes my videos do have wind in them. They have ID3 tag adding, punch and roll recording, new sound clips, better usability, mixed room UI improvement. Don't worry about if you don't know what any of this stuff means, okay? And the reason I'm not explaining each individual item is because if you don't know what it means, you don't need it. That's the bottom line. We're trying to figure out whether or not you should upgrade or switch to a subscription base, okay? This is all they upgraded in AudioDirector, and for me, the only thing I'm looking at is the wind removal. I'm looking at testing that out. ColorDirector, color matching, color replacing keyframes, more color lookup tables, quick and convenient editing tools, copy paste. Really nothing in ColorDirector for me. Nothing really whatsoever. I mean, I very rarely use ColorDirector. So, PhotoDirector. They seem to have added quite a bit to PhotoDirector. That's for editing your photos when you take pictures with your cameras. PhotoDirector has more advanced layer properties. Full opacity, size option, drop shadow, text warping, quick access, crop photo, snap with reference lines, powerful useful guided tools. I mean, they went quite crazy on here. Deblur. What deblur means if you didn't take your picture and it wasn't quite focused in, it may just take the blur out and focus it in for you. GPS log, display photo info. One thing they don't have in PhotoDirector, and I even sent them a message on their YouTube channel, they don't have editing for RAW 3 files with the EOS R Canon camera, which is what I'm shooting this video on in 4K. So if I take pictures with my EOS R Canon, it's been out for a year, there's no way for me to edit those RAW files unless I convert them and then edit them. Now, they said to me, well, Canon doesn't provide any support and doesn't tell us anything about it, so we have basically, we're not going to add it, is what they're saying. And if that was true, if Canon didn't provide you anything, then why is it other companies like OneOn and another one, there's like 2 or 3 companies out there that do offer photo editing options for the RAW 3 format for the EOS R. Well, they figured it out. So I'm like scratching my head going, PowerDirector, I mean CyberLink, how did they figure it out and you can't? It sounds to me like they're passing the buck. And that's not the way you run a business. I mean, in my point of view, competition is a big thing, and competition's healthy. It keeps all businesses always advancing. If we didn't have competition, we'd be in trouble. And I don't know, CyberLink, if you watch this video, you might want to take another look at adding RAW 3 because your competition has already done it, and I've had to go out and buy those products because they do RAW 3. I won't be using PhotoDirector whatsoever. I won't be using that or ColorDirector. So the less programs I use, it's going to become to the point with myself, maybe I shouldn't be paying subscription. Maybe I should just be buying the product. and having it sitting there. Because if there's nothing in it, and I start getting, and the other thing is if you start getting used to another product in editing, because you got that learning curve, right? So the more you get used to that product, when it comes time to switch to something else, you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's getting to the point where I used to edit with PhotoDirector quite a bit, but not anymore. Now I'm using one of the other two programs. And all my time goes into their program and not in the PhotoDirector. Thus, CyberLink is losing a customer and probably many other customers. I mean, Canon is the biggest camera company out there. So you would think you would edit RAW 3 files. That makes no sense to me. Anyhow, let's take a look at PowerDirector 18. This is probably what everybody's wanting to hear about. They did add a couple things. Now, let me talk about a couple things here about PowerDirector 18 that bothers me and maybe a lot of other people don't understand. I don't look at this as a major upgrade, and this is my own personal view. You have to understand, when software is upgraded, let's say PowerDirector 16 comes out, and then PowerDirector 17, and then PowerDirector 18. These are whole numbers. When you actually get an upgrade with a whole number, it usually means when it comes to software, it's a major upgrade. It's like, let's rock your world type of upgrades that are coming out. When you get little upgrades that come out, they're referred to as 16.1, 16.2, 16.3. They're all points. PowerDirector 18 looks to me like one of those. It doesn't look like a big upgrade. And that's the part that really has me kind of sad. Now, some of the things I do like. They installed something called the Shape Designer where you can get real fancy with your shapes. I'm probably going to use that a lot. They put in 1:1 square video for Instagram and Facebook. That's where you actually record in little squares. I don't use that, but I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are going to need that. Nested projects and adjustable pip objects. Audio scrubbing. Audio scrubbing is when you grab the head and you start bringing it across, and then you hear the audio where they sound like chipmunks when they're talking. So it helps you edit quicker. That I like. Multi-key sampling, chroma key. Looks like they did some more upgrades to the chroma key. Advanced motion tracking. They did some more upgrading to the motion tracking. Reversible timeline. And what that simply means is when you're editing at the bottom of PowerDirector, you notice how you work your way one way, and what you can do is flip it and you can edit the other way, because most programs edit the other way. PowerDirector is the only one that works its way down. So you can actually switch that around. CPU and GPU performance boosts. I haven't noticed any. I took 30-minute videos, I compiled them, I edited them, I cut them, I moved them around. It all seemed like pretty much the same speed to me from PowerDirector 17. But I've even noticed some people saying they're having issues and they're getting slowed down. So that I found quite interesting. So they're boasting their CPU and GPU performance boosts. It seems the clientele is not seeing it. 4K video editing. This is true. You couldn't do 4K video editing before. When I used to shoot 4K on my EOS R, which is what I'm shooting right now, in 4K, I couldn't edit in PowerDirector. I literally went back and forth with CyberLink in multiple emails. I even made them little videos so they could actually put this in. I thought it would have been, upgraded a lot, 6 months ago. The Canon EOS R has been out a year. You would think they would have added that a long time ago. Lots of cameras are 4K now. It seems to me CyberLink's behind on the ball here. And that's another thing that's bothering me. But it does make it easier, because I used to have to use Handbrake. I used to have to convert my video. Then I could edit in PowerDirector, which took more time, like usually a good 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how much video I made. Where now I can grab that video and just drop it into PowerDirector and start editing. That is really nice, but I think it should have been in there a lot sooner. Professional format and camera support, 360 video stabilization, AI style transfer. Does anybody use this? It's like they take the video and they turn it into like a wax painting or something. I've never seen a use for it, but they seem to be extremely happy with it, and they seem to spend a lot of time on it. More time than I think they should be spending on other things. They have extra large thumbnail preview, undock library, and timeline. Now, when you undock items, the box moves around the screen type of thing. Well, they're boasting you can put this on 3 monitors. So literally you got 3 monitors. You can put one over there, one over there, and one over there. And thus gives you much more seeing power of what you're doing when you're editing PowerDirector. I do everything on 1 monitor. I do have like 3 or 4 monitors around here. I suppose I could hook it up and test it out. But that's what they're boasting. You can do it on 3 monitors now. It says it has a volume meter display. Now, there's not that much. They really didn't add that much to PowerDirector 18. It's actually quite disappointing. And should you upgrade? So, should you upgrade? Wow. For me, yes, I had to upgrade because I make 4K videos. If you make 4K videos, you're going to want to upgrade to PowerDirector 18. I do like the scrubbing. I do like when I get into things like editing text more or, you know, just adding more pizzazz to my videos. You're going to want to upgrade. But if you don't record in 4K or you don't care about the fancy text or any of the stuff that I have mentioned and you're still running PowerDirector 16, like, let me show you a comment that I got on my last video I uploaded. Irish Whiskey Paranormal had said, screw that cap, it's all about the. Irish Whiskey Paranormal. Screw that crap. It's all about the money. I will just stick with the CD of PowerDirector 16. Well, of course it's about the money. This is the way our countries work. Without money, we don't feed ourselves. I don't know what people are thinking. But normally when we pay money, they have to offer more product. This little bit of product they're offering, well, let me get to that later. What about some other guys? Are some other guys really upset? I pulled another guy and I even asked him for permission to record, to put this on video for you guys. And it's a pretty long comment, but I want you guys to hear it. And I'll even post it up so you can pause it and read it if you want, but I'll read it to you. And his name is Gordon Cato, and I hope I said that right, C-A-T-O. And here's what he has to say about it since he has actually downloaded PowerDirector 18. I have to say, after upgrading this morning, that I'm disappointed. I've been a user of PowerDirector for years, and I was hoping for a major upgrade to bring it up to par with some of the other video editors out there. I was wrong. Other than a few minor changes, I see no improvement. Now this is Gordon's point of view here, right? I know a lot of people are raving about the 1.1 ratio. You know, that's for Instagram and Facebook. But that's a feature I will never use. I'm currently working on a small project in which some of the lighting and the colors needed adjustment. After trying several times in PowerDirector, I kept getting blocky, noisy video. I loaded the same clip into HitFilm Express, a free editor, and using a built-in curves editor was able to correct the image in 10 seconds. So the question is, why doesn't PowerDirector have, you know, a curve editor where you can grab the curves and move it around? Why haven't they incorporated that yet? The tracker in PowerDirector is also lacking. It frequently loses the track when the same footage in HitFilm or DaVinci, both free, will lock on all the way through the clip. The options to what you can attach to a track objects are also severely limited compared to other programs. Something as simple as an object like the Boris lightsaber effect, instead of attaching the source and ending points to tracks, you have to go in and manually keyframe each point by opening and separating a window for each keyframe and each point. I was hoping that the things like this would have been streamlined in this release. Instead, a little fluff added. I kind of agree with them there. I've also loved PowerDirector, but if they can't, as he states, if they can't keep up with the free software that's out there, then I won't be renewing my subscription. So he runs a subscription just like me. And he's kind of thinking like I am. I mean, it's almost like, and this scares me when companies go to a subscription. It always has scared me when they do that because I've seen a lot of companies do that and they get lazy. And they think, well, they're going to pay, so we'll just get them a little bit here, a little bit there, and we'll just let them complain. And that's not the way you look at things. They're not the only person on the block. And as he has stated there's 2 other free editors out there that are completely free that do certain things better than PowerDirector. So it comes down to simple questions of why would I keep giving PowerDirector my money if there's free programs out there that are beating them? Huh? Is PowerDirector even looking at these other programs? Because in my personal view, if you're paying for a program, it should blow these other free programs out of the water, just like Gordon's saying here. So why isn't it? It totally makes no sense to me. It really doesn't. Now, there's another guy, Harvey Yates, and I had this happen too. Harvey Yates replied to my other video, and he said, I've just tried it. I have 365. He's like me. He's on a subscription. It would appear that my settings are all reverted to default. That's irritating. It is. It is. I noticed when I upgraded, all my settings went to default. I was like, oh man, I got to spend half an hour setting all those back up the way I want them. You know, it was like, why are you messing with my settings there, CyberLink? Come on, get with it. Blue Ranger actually wrote, audio scrubbing is the most useful new feature. I do agree with him on that. And Shape Designer, now Vector, not Pixel, is also nice. Yes, Shape Designer is nice. But when we wait 6 months for something to come out, and all they do is give us, what, 5, 10 little things? And you might only use 1 or 2 of those things? That's pretty lame, as far as I'm concerned. And there's another guy here named by Crazy Crassy. Hope I got your name right. FIFA 20 tutorials and skills. He's currently using PowerDirector 16. He downloaded this one to test it out. And by the way, you can download these and test them out, see how they run on your computer first. He likes some of the new features, but he finds it's lacking a lot. And even though it says it's on newer GPUs and CPUs, he says, I don't think so. So he doesn't think, I mean, he thinks they lied maybe. I don't know. Why doesn't CyberLink set up some boxes and set up some computers and show us what you've tested it on? And show us where this speed is. Or show us your configurations, guys, because I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing upset people. I think 4K should have been in there 6 months ago, not earlier. But I'm not seeing great reasons here for people to spend money and upgrade to PowerDirector 18. And one thing's for sure, if this is what we're going to expect from CyberLink when we're on this subscription program where they're only going to give us 10 or 15 things, like Gordon says, give us a little fluff here and there, I don't think people are going to use them. I think people are going to start looking at Adobe, or they're going to start looking at some of these other products because they're dropping the ball. And you know who else dropped the ball? This ain't abnormal for companies to do this. I'll tell you this right now. Another company that has done this is Canon. Canon has just released a mirrorless camera in like, what, a year ago or so? They're just starting to get into the ball game. Where Sony has been into it for well over 5 years. And I love Canon, but they're behind Sony cameras. And it's a good thing they're pushing forward, and it's a good thing they've got the staff to do it, because it was starting to look like Canon was going to be in trouble. I was seeing people selling Canon and Glass and everywhere just to switch over to Sony. And people will switch, even if they're using your brand. So if CyberLink thinks for a minute that they can get away with stuff like this, we'll give them 10, 12 things before we release something. When most of this stuff should have been a minor upgrade, a 17.5 if you will. This is not a full version upgrade. This is laughable. Now, CyberLink may not like this video. Like I said, I don't work for them. This is my personal view. This is what I noticed after using this for 24 hours. I gathered some information. I was like, maybe it's me. You know, maybe I'm being too judgmental on them. And maybe that's what it is. So I wanted to get some other points of view. So I checked the forum. I checked people that were commenting on mine. I checked their videos to see what people were commenting. And other people's views were the same as mine. So I knew I was on base. And CyberLink must have known this. I mean, come on, you can't release a product and throw in 10 or 12 things and say, hey, look at us. I mean, it was like, how much time did you guys actually spend on this? A month? Like, this is ridiculous. There are so many more things that this video editor should have, just like Gordon itemized over there, just a few things. There's more. And like I said, I don't even notice a difference in the speed. To be honest with you, when they released PowerDirector 18, if they would have had the speed like they're boasting here, where I don't notice it with my computer, another guy doesn't notice it, what'd they do, code it for one specific type of computer? Well, if that's true, CyberLink, tell us what the computer is so we can all go buy it. Because I'm just not seeing it. I do like the 4K. I do like some things with it. My subscription is paid for another year. We'll see what you guys produce over the next 6 months or so. But if you guys don't release anything better than this, and I don't start seeing some stuff coming, I'm not paying for a subscription next year. Not at all. I'm going to do what the other guy did. Buy one and wait 2 or 3 years and then buy it again. It would be far cheaper on me because you guys just don't really release that many upgrades. And I'm sure you're going to have quite a few people jumping ship and going to other software. You're not building a client base doing this. Now, I know most of you guys probably are used to me wanting to tell you how great PowerDirector is. It is. Don't get me wrong. PowerDirector is awesome. It's easy for a newbie. It's easy for a person starting to learn how to do video editing. But they need to offer more. They can't continue like this. This is wrong. Now, maybe PowerDirector is only catering to the complete newbie, and that's who they want their clientele to be. If that's the case, then CyberLink should put up a big message, a big sign on their website saying we only cater to the newbie. If you are medium or advanced, then you need to use a different product. Because that's what it's kind of feeling like. I got really excited when I uploaded a video before this one. I was like, oh my God, it's out. Yes, yes, yes. I was so excited. I literally grabbed my camera. I took 4K video. I took RAW 3 files. I went crazy. Compile, edit, boom, boom, boom. Add this, 30 transition, 40 this, bang, bang, bang. And I'm just flying. And I was like, okay, look for everything. Every little icon, every little thing. Is there anything new that I'm not seeing? Something new. And I only seen a couple little icons that were new. And the more I went on with my excitement, the more my excitement started to dissipate, and I kept going, come on, is this what you're going to give me for the next year? Really? This is horrible. In my view, PowerDirector 18 is not a good upgrade at all. I like the 4K, but like I said, it should have been in there 6 months ago. A lot of this stuff should have been in there 6 months ago. So I see a lot of people, to be quite honest with you, not upgrading. I see a lot of people not paying their subscription plans and moving back to buying it. And I see a lot of changes coming. And it doesn't look very good for CyberLink. There's my review, guys. Like I said, on my channel, I like to keep everything honest. I hope I covered everything pretty good. This information is public knowledge. It's on the internet. I'll have links in the bottom that link to all these little options that tell what each one of these programs have. And you can go read it for yourself. But CyberLink better do something in the next 6 months. Or I think a lot of customers are going to be saying bye-bye. Catch you guys on the next one.